Hey, hello there. Hello. Thanks for stopping by the channel. Welcome to WTF Mortgage. Thank you for checking out this video. I originally made a video a couple days ago on the 3rd of March. I was going to do a mortgage interest rate update for 3 March 2025. And as usual, I was going to compare it to a previous day so you can get an idea of which direction things are going in. I was going to compare the pricing on the 3rd of March to the pricing on the 20th of Feb, which was the last time I did an update. But after I finished this video on Monday and I was about to put it on YouTube, I got some indication that we were going to have some pricing changes that might be pretty significant. So I waited, and I wanted to use this as maybe a learning opportunity and show you how the pricing, I mentioned it on the last video, how when we're in a trend, whether that trend is up or down, I believe now we are in a downward trend. I mentioned during that time, you're taking a step forward, and then after 10 steps forward, you take a few steps back, and then you head back in that downward direction again. So I see that's what's going on right now. So get your protection out, because we're going to have a four-way. All right, so I'm going to compare the pricing on the 20th to the pricing on the 3rd, 4th, and 5th, and I'm going to give my opinion of what I would do if I were in a situation where I was thinking about putting in a purchase or a refinance application right now, or if I had an application in and my rate was floating, if I would lock my interest rate in now or wait. All right, so let's go ahead and pull up some rates and get into it. All right, let's get you in the mortgage mood and start off with the pricing from 20 Feb and a quick refresher. And let's look at the 5.875. We'll look at the 6.5 and then one of the no cost rates. Now, the reason why I always bring up the lower rate pricing on my updates right now, like that 5.875, with an APR of 6.148 on the 20th, fees of $13,675. Well, I know that that is out of the range for most people right now. Most people doing purchases and refinances, unless the seller is paying for, or the builder is paying some rate buy down fees. I know the 13,675 is not in range for most people, but I'm bringing that up each time because we're going to keep tracking it. My prediction is at the end of this year, that 5.875 is going to cost the same as the 6.5 or the 6.625. I've been accurate on my predictions so far for the last 2 years. Maybe I've been getting lucky. Whatever, we're going to use it anyway. All right. So 5.875 back then, you see 13,675 in fees. Now let's look at the 6.5 over there. The reason why is because when I bring up the other rates, I'm going to be betting on the short-term money for the 6.5 or the 6.625 right now. I'll tell you in a couple minutes. So the 6.5, you can see I had a APR of 6.526 and fees of 1273. And for the those of you who've never seen one of my videos before, quick reminder on the APR. One of the things the APR can let you know is if there are fees associated with the rate being advertised. Normally, you will not see the rate, the APR, and the fees, because that would be redundant for a company to put that up. A lot of companies to put that up, even though I show that, but a lot of companies consider that redundant because the APR is supposed to give you an indication of the fees associated with the rate. Unfortunately, most people, like 95% of the people, don't know that. So when the APR and the rate are the same, that indicates that there are no fees associated with the rate being advertised. And when the APR is higher than the rate being advertised, like in this example, the rate being advertised is the one on the left, and the one on the right is the APR, as you can see here. So when the APR is higher than the advertised rate, that indicates that there are fees associated with that rate. And the bigger the spread between the rate and the APR indicates more and more fees associated with that rate. Or in other words, the higher the APR is above the advertised rate indicates more and more fees associated with that rate. As you get better and better with this, you'll be able to look at any rate in any advertisement, and just like that, have an idea of the fees associated with it, because a lot of lenders put out ads that I consider are misleading, even though they're legal, even though they meet the truth in lending requirements. They're still, in my opinion, misleading. And so you won't be led astray with misleading ads once you learn the rate and APR relationship. All right, refresher over. Let's get back into it. So the 6.5 I just talked about. Let's look at one of the no cost rates here. Now notice, let's look at the 6.875 no cost rate. The rate and APR are the same, just like I mentioned there. So that's a no cost and a credit going to you. And anytime you see a credit, that's a credit going to you, of $3,100 some odd dollars there. So what that credit can do is offset other costs associated with the loan, like say an appraisal. That'll reimburse you for the appraisal, or if there's some title and escrow charges, pay for title and escrow charges, things like that, or end up being cash in your pocket if you want that. So that's when you see the credits. That's going to you. That's a credit to you. All right. So let's go ahead and bring up the other rates. All right, folks, here we go. Here we go. So here is the rate pricing from the 20th, the 3rd, the 4th, and the 5th. All right, so you can see here on the 3rd, let's look at those same rates. The 5.875 had a significant drop, just from $13,675 down to $10,079 in fees. So that was a pretty fat drop. Was that a little over $3,000. You can see the corresponding APR also dropped down. So notice that the APR on the 5.875 on the 20th was 6.148. That APR dropped down to 6.075. So I just mentioned that. So I want to keep hammering that rate and APR relationship in your head. So sorry about that, but once you get that down, you're going to be a badass. All right. So let's look at the 6.5 rate. So 6.5 rate on the 20th, fees were $12.73. And you can see that will drop down to $5.89. So almost no fees. That is definitely doable. That's why I want to use this. I'll tell you as the 6.5 and the 6.625 as the target rates. I'll tell you about that in just a minute here. All right. So that is looking doggone promising. If I were looking to pull the trigger on purchasing or refinancing, let's say I was refinancing and I had something, above 7%, I would definitely pull the trigger on the 6.5 or the 6.65. So let's go ahead and burst some bubbles and go to the 4th of March. So on the 4th of March, the 6.5, we lost something. We lost some pricing there. 6.5 went up to 1,353, higher than the pricing on the 20th of February. And then, of course, you can see the corresponding APR went up also. And then if you go to today, the 5th, you can see that the 6.5 inched up again from 1353 up to 1425. I'm glad it inched instead of taking a big leap. And also you can see the 6.65 is still hanging in there. Let's just backtrack really quick. Look at the 6.65. On the 20th, 6.625 had a credit. It was no fees and a credit of $627. Then on the 3rd, you see that credit went up to $1,016, and then on the 4th went down to $251. Still no cost, but the credit went down to $251, and now today the credit is $175. So and let's just take one quick look before I chit chat here. One quick look at the 6.875. So that credit still strong. It started off on the 20th. You can see $3,100, and then on the 3rd, $2,500. Went down a little bit yesterday to $2,200, and then it went back up to $2,417. So that gives me some promise there when I see little things like that. All right, so let me get to it. Long story short, what this will do is create what I call a target now. So we know where it has the potential to go. And so let's say I would be targeting the 6.5 or the 6.625. So long story short, when I predict pricing is going to go back down very shortly. Now, when it inches back down to where the 6.5 is back down to what the pricing was on the 3rd, like say back down to $500 something or even lower, which I think it will go here very shortly. When it goes there, I'd say I would pull the trigger if I were sitting above 7%. Right now, hell, I'd pull the trigger if I was at 6.875, but let's just say if I were at 7%, I would pull the trigger on one of those, the 6.5 or the 6.625. So those are my choices, my picks for the target rates right now. So you know where we can go, you see where we've gone up to, and I would advise do one of those. The 6.5 or 6.625 is what I would do, because when the pricing drops down, maybe, I don't know, September or something like that, drops down later this year, especially when that 5.875 gets down. I'm predicting that 5.875 will get down to the cost of the 6.5 or the 6.625, but that won't happen until towards the end of the year. So that's why I'm using the 6.5 and my 6.625 as a target pricing right now. You do a loan with little or no fees. That way you don't have to worry about recouping the cost when the pricing drops down again. All right, now we are going to talk about the 10-year Treasury and mortgage-backed security mortgage rate relationship. So up on the screen here, you can see a couple screenshots from my cell phone. These are the items that I track on my personal cell phone here. So I took one screenshot from the 3rd when I was doing that video on Monday, and then that's another screenshot, as you can see, from the 5th today here. All right, so notice that the 10-year Treasury, see it's in the red right now, going down on the 3rd, and then the two of the MBSs that I have in there, I'm checking out. You could use whichever ones you want to. I'm using that iShares Lehman and the OMBAX JP Morgans, and you can see they're up. So relationship wise to the mortgage rates, when you see the 10-year Treasury trending down and the MBSs going up, you can bet your bottom that mortgage rate pricing is going down. Again, when 10-year Treasury is going down and those MBSs are going up, when you see that, like you see on the 3rd there on that screenshot, mortgage rate pricing is pretty much always heading down 99.9% of the time. And of course, when I showed you the rates, you saw that the rates on the 3rd, how low they were compared to today, that drop, and it's reflected in the 10-year Treasury and the MBSs. And of course, you can see today, you can see how much the pricing went up since the 3rd. And of course, you can see the 10-year Treasury in the green trending up and the mortgage-backed securities trending down. You know, the mortgage-backed securities have that inverse relationship with the mortgage rate pricing, and the 10-year Treasury tracks right along with it. So you're not going to be the mortgage oracle of Omaha, you know, the Warren Buffett of mortgages. Knowing this, you'll hear some of the people in the mortgage industry with not that much experience mention to people that, you know, tracking that 10-year Treasury. You're not going to be able to make any predictions with this. What this will do for you is confirm the type of market we're in right now. This in conjunction with tracking the mortgage rates. So again, I've recommended this before, track a few companies, track 3 or so, maybe at least 3, maybe 4 mortgage companies, maybe some of your favorites, mortgage companies that show the pricing. And you notice that their rate pricing is going down, and you're wondering, all right, so are we in the downward trend? Have we hit the bottom or not? You can take a look at the 10-year Treasury and the mortgage-backed securities, and that'll confirm that, okay, yeah, we are in a downward market. So now I got to look to make my move. So a couple ways you can handle this is, number one, do it like the safe way. If you see some savings, like I mentioned, for example, target rates of the 6.5 and the 6.6, that 6.5 and this it gets down with only a few $100 in fees and no fees in the next week or so, or the credit on the 6.625 gets even bigger than it is, then you can go for that do a no cost loan or very tiny little cost loan. And then if rate pricing drops down in a few months, you can do it again. You don't have to worry about breaking even on any closing costs you paid because you didn't pay any cost. Another way to do it is you're eyeballing this, things are dropping down, and then you notice the mortgage rates maybe start to plateau. They're not dropping down anymore. And then you're also watching the 10-year Treasury and the mortgage-backed securities. You notice the 10-year Treasury has kind of flattened out also. And then as you're watching things, you still don't make a move, and you notice a tick up. You notice mortgage rate pricing come up a little bit, and then you notice a tick up on the Treasury, and then maybe say one of the two MBSs that you're tracking kind of tick down. Well, if I were in that situation, then that's when I would make my move and lock my interest rate in, because that's indication that rate pricing is going to go up. Not to say that the rate pricing might not go down, but again, when we've been trending down for a while and things plateau, and then you see a few days later or 5 days later, it starts to peak back up, then maybe I would probably make my move to lock something in. Then you get that, let me see if I can get this thing right, get that bird in the hand instead of waiting for that one in the bush. All right, so that's that 10-year Treasury, MBS, and mortgage rate relationship, and how you can use that in conjunction with tracking the mortgage rates to kind of make your decision on when to pull the trigger. All right, so let's go ahead and wrap things up. All right, so this concludes the update, and if you stayed around this long, thank you so much, because I understand this type of financial stuff is not the most exciting in the world. I know there's more exciting things on YouTube, like people baking things or cats eating fish or chainsaws and shit like that. So thank you. But even though this is not the most exciting stuff in the world, my information can save you a hell of a lot of money and time and heartache when it comes to shopping for a mortgage. So I'm going to be doing these updates every week for the next couple months or so, because I might even do a couple in a week. I'm following things closely because we're in this interesting environment right now, and I want you to have all the information that you need to make a decision and kick ass when it comes to shopping for a mortgage. All right. Oh, by the way, I'm shooting for April 1st. It might be the 15th of April, but I'm shooting for April 1st to have the grand opening of my mortgage company. Yay! Been busting my ass working on it after hours for like a year and a half or so. I've been doing some business, but it's been all like test business, just to get things just right before I put the business out there for everybody, because I want to kick ass for everybody. I enjoy what I do, and I want to do it bigger. All right. So anyway, like I said, if you want to catch me on the next update and follow things along with me, subscribe to the channel or bookmark this video or whatever you need to do. And I will see you on the next one.